We were contacted by a mysterious witness who had a compelling story about his involvement with the government's attempt to eliminate the Sasquatch.
Plans of the police came. I want to thank everyone for taking care of all the other girls. I know it's getting kind of wild in here, but, respect our
We are here this evening with the gentleman that was formerly with the organization NOTES, the national organization against terroristic sounds. Sir.
Yes.
Good evening.
Yeah. I've kind of been reluctant to talk about it before, but I'll talk to you.
Fascinating. Does it have to do with the Sasquatch?
That's kind of the beginning of the end. Are you comfortable? Is that okay?
Yes, I'm quite fine.
Sort of the beginning of the end of my involvement in NOTES.
Bob, who is it that you know in the Sasquatch?
At one point, I knew all of them. So, I was originally assigned this case, the Sasquatch. A tape came into our main offices. It was sent by an agent we had in Port Townsend at the time.
And Port Townsend, yes.
And it was a tape of what was purported to be the first performance.
Do you have this tape?
I have a remastered version of some of the sound from that tape here,
I'd be fascinated
which we can get into.
to hear it.
Let's see if this will work. Anyways, my superiors at the time found this sound disturbing and terroristic in nature, in the sense that it had potential to disturb audiences. There's a little more to it than that, but that's the gist of what we were working on. For an example of that kind of disturbance that we
Yes, I
felt
would
has
be
been
fascinated to understand more.
If you listen as this progresses, it gets a little, it begins to elicit a response, and that's the sort of thing we were concerned about. It's all well and good for people to enjoy music, but not if it's eliciting this sort of response in the population. It can be.
Excuse me. Professor B.S.
Who is this? Who is this?
Turn this off. Turn this off. I need to know how you know that what you're playing before us is actually the Sasquatch.
How do I know? Because after this, I tracked them down and followed them for years as a member of their entourage. I know exactly who they are.
Right.
This was my job.
Was is the key word there.
Yes.
It was pinned on me. I didn't do it. I gave up before it was finished. Are you quite comfortable?
I'm
As long as you're okay.
Thank you. Yes, I'm quite fine.
The initial sound I played for
Yes.
you was good and had power in its own.
Stimulating, yes.
It definitely elicited an audience response of the kind that upset Notes, but what they developed into was a much more powerful thing, and that's when I sort of abandoned my employers.
Abandoned. Much like the flight of a moth towards an evening sun.
Maybe more like a porch lamp.
And what about the forests?
Well, I know they started in the forest, And I know they wanted to get back to the forest. And whether that happened or not...
And what about the trees?
Look, the last I heard anything of them, they were being pirated in East Indian videos.
I have
On
a
the
question,
recording?
if that's okay. I don't mean to be rude or presumptuous, but it does bring me to a thought. And that is, when we ask ourselves questions such that we do, it is a natural thing. One must wonder why you wear gloves.
Why do you not wear gloves? And I don't mean to be glib, but the gloves can really help. They're looking for me, and the gloves can prevent things from being left behind, if you know what I mean.
I'm not sure.
Notes is not an organization
Oh.
you really want to upset and then show your naked hands in public afterwards.
The sounds that you found of the Sasquatch, quite fascinating.
Well, there was more. And in the end, I found it really, as you say, quite fascinating, to the extent that I left my work. I know many believe I did not, and I was responsible for the demise, but I left. And others finished my work there, and I have been looked for since by my former employer.
Because you left to search for Sasquatch.
No, that's really not why. I tried to warn them.
About the Sasquatch.
No, I tried to warn them about notes. What they were going to do to the sound.
Of Sasquatch?
Yes.
Yes.
There you got one right, yes. See,
Chuck.
what you don't get, and what many people don't get, is why we do it. It's the frequency of the sound. If we keep the right frequency at the record industries, we can control the population. And that's what we were doing. See, these other musical creationists, whatever you want to call them, they don't know the frequency we need them to transmit. And if they're out there transmitting something else to the people, Jesus Christ, what could happen? Some of us involved realized what we were doing. And it's not right. And they're still doing it now. They're still doing it now. And that frequency, you're listening to music. I know you'll get in your car and you'll leave here and you'll put on the radio and there will be the music and the frequencies in it. And it will happen to you. But not me. Not me, because I quit. So, I contacted you for a reason.
Yes.
Yes, please make yourself more comfortable. And the reason was that you do this work where you find things, and I think this is something that could be found. I have the story to tell, but there's a more bigger, scarier story out there. And you could follow it from here, you could follow it next door, and you could find them. I think you could find them.
This all has to do with the Sasquatch.
Yeah, back then, yeah.
Yes. Back to the Sasquatch.
So, this is what got me, and turned me, and I think you should hear it.
Fascinating.
See what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying?
I did not. But I know this creature, this leader is telling me something. He's telling you something. How's he getting it to you? I can see it in his face. Got him fooled.
the frequency in that?